So, Chris, what do you think are the most important points a seller agent must discuss with their sellers before they sign the agreement?
Most important points. Well, in this new norm that we're going to be experiencing starting this summer, I think that it's going to be really important for a listing agent to have a very deep conversation with their sellers in order to counteract a lot of what they're hearing in the media. Just saying, oh, I don't have to pay buyer's agents anymore is certainly not going to be the best course of action if you want to get the most money for your property. You want to have the biggest thing about selling your house is the marketing. You want to have as many eyes on that property as you possibly can. So you're working with an experienced realtor that has you on every single online platform. You've got marketing that is going to every media publication, magazine, door hangers, walking the neighborhood, mailing out postcards, whatever the case is, in order to get maximum exposure for your listing. That is going to draw buyers, obviously, to want to take a look at your house. The problem that we're going to experience, as you know, is that when people have really close debt to income ratios, they're not going to be able to come up with that extra cash in order to pay the buyer's broker. So I don't see why it would really benefit a seller to not offer any type of compensation to the buyer's agent. I think that if you want to get maximum exposure for your home, you want the most eyes on that property, you need to offer some sort of compensation as well in order to drive as much traffic through as possible. And I'm not saying that because there was talk that realtors would steer you one way or steer you the other way in order to make sure that they were getting compensated to the maximum amount of money that they can if somebody was offering more commission than another. I'm talking about limiting your buyer pool. If you're not offering any type of compensation, you're going to have buyers that are going to take a look at your home, and the first thing they're going to do, because they're going to be under a buyer representation agreement now with their realtor, they're going to call their realtor and say, is this house going to cost me more than the list price? Am I going to have to come out of pocket in order to compensate you and pay your fee? Well, the realtor is going to get on the phone with the listing agent and say, is your seller offering compensation? No, they're not offering compensation. Okay, are they willing to negotiate some compensation? No, my seller's not willing to negotiate whatsoever. They're not paying a buyer's agent. I'm going to have a conversation with my buyer to say, this house may not suit your needs because based on the pre-approval and the talk that I've had with your lender, you simply can't afford it if you also have to come out of pocket thousands of dollars in order to pay my fee. So it's an unfortunate new reality of the way that business is going to be transacted in the U.S.
So this is definitely a very important part that we need to have. Absolutely.
So the commission's not going to be placed in the MLS any longer because of that settlement, but certainly those conversations are going to happen. And it may be that myself as a buyer broker, let's say, I will go and look at the listing agent's website because you are able to display the compensation on your own personal brokerage website. So I may start there and see if I can get the information online. If not, I know most of the people in the business because I've been in the business for a long time. I'll pick up the phone and call them. Hey, I saw your listing at 123 Main Street. Is the seller offering compensation? So we're going to have to do a little bit of extra work in order to find out if our buyer is going to be able to afford that property, if they also have to pay our fee. So I would hope that listing agents, when you're listing a property, will have a deep conversation with the seller to say, we don't have to make a blanket offer of compensation if you don't want to. However, please be open to negotiating with a buyer. Maybe the buyer will pay you a little bit more money, and that way you can negotiate a little bit of compensation in there for them.
That's great. Thank you.